Welcome back, friends, to what used to be Lily of the Valley Coaching. This is now 6Quantum Bridge podcast, where we're going to be talking about all things quantum physics, paranormal. I will still be talking about the forensics and all of the things that we had been talking about before, but I am going to be leaning very heavily into the quantum physics because it fascinates me, and I feel like this is the natural progression of my spiritual journey. And as I progress, you guys are going to be there along with me through the journey. Now, honestly, family, I've been thinking a lot about how I position myself. For a while, I did call myself a coach. That word feels a little boxed in now. I'm not here to coach you through drills. I'm here to speak, to audit, to observe, decode, and deliver what matters. Bruce Lee said, "Be water, my friend, formless." And that's exactly what I'm stepping into. Water is formless, adaptable, unstoppable. It doesn't get trapped in a box or a title. It flows where it needs to flow. And that's what I'm doing here, speaking on the things that matter, flowing between law, psychology, spirituality, and now quantum physics. I'm not a one trick pony, my friends. So let's talk about the law, psychology, and the leap into quantum physics. You see, law is black and white, guilty or not guilty, lawful or unlawful. It's the stoic. Psychology is the gray, studying the gray matter, the motives, the perceptions, the hidden drives. But lately, I've been called into something bigger, and that is quantum physics. Because life isn't just black and white, and it isn't just gray, it's dimensional, it's layered, it's multiple versions of reality existing at once. They say that right now, as you listen to this podcast and in every moment of your life, you are living past, present, and future at the same time. This is where God's language comes in. Now, I'm going to be approaching quantum physics without the math because, quite honestly, I don't have the technical aptitude for large, elaborate equations. If you do, power be to you. This is not something that I was ever in school able to do. It's for my ADHD mind, it kind of scrambles my brain like eggs in a pan. I can't make heads or tails of what I'm looking at. All right. So when I approach quantum physics, I'm not doing it with the equations because you don't need equations to understand the central message, okay? Now, the logistics of it, some people are better at the logistics of it. I study the energies of it, all right? For instance, superposition means multiple versions of you exist until a choice collapses the wave. Entanglement means two souls can be connected across any distance. If you know anything about twin flames, you know this to be true. Many worlds means every choice spawns a new reality. Now, tell me that doesn't sound like scripture. Tell me that doesn't sound like testimony. For instance, I'll give you some. Examples: Dante's Inferno and the Bible's heavens. Dante mapped 9 circles of hell, each one a dimension of consequence. The Bible speaks of multiple heavens. Paul caught up to the third heaven, angels and seraphim in layers of glory. That's dimensional language. That's God showing us reality isn't flat, it's structured, tiered, alive. So when I study quantum physics, I'm not stepping away from God. Absolutely not. I'm learning his dialect. Dante called them circles. Paul called them heavens. Physicists call them dimensions, but it's all the same truth. Testimony of dimensional glimpses. Okay, let's talk about that. I know these dimensions exist because I've seen them. Before I met my time toms, um, I saw another version of myself, dressed in black, wise, present. It was a version of me, ladies and gentlemen, that I will never forget because it was the fully embodied, intellectual, intelligent, not only cognitive intelligence, not only spiritual intelligence, just all levels of intelligence encapsulated into one being. My mom, before she passed, saw another version of me too. She would constantly tell me, "Oh, I had a dream about you last night." And of course, I'm not going to get into the personal details of the dream. That's for me and her and God. Um, but just suffice it to say that this flesh and bone is not all that there is. These weren't fantasies because they're not fantasies because I have seen my own visions as well. Okay? When you get a vision, it's a glimpse. God gives you like a peekaboo of what he knows ultimately because he owns all of it, he controls all of it. They were glimpses of superposition, multiple versions of me waiting for choices to collapse into one. That's not just physics. That's not just scripture. That's lived testimony. Now, I want to spotlight a book for you guys. I am currently reading, let me just pull up his information here. Hold on. It's called Dark Matter. I've never read this person's work before because you know that I'm a big Stephen King fan, a big Robert Greene fan, and I wanted to read something that wasn't one of these smutty novels or it wasn't one of my typical woo woo, as my family likes to call it, things that I usually like to read. Something that kind of is entertaining, but also is very much informative in its own way. And the name of the author is Blake Crouch. B as in boy, Lake, Crouch as in crouching on the floor. Okay, Blake Crouch. And the name of the book is Dark Matter. I'm 2 chapters in already and I can't put this book down. I need to go to sleep. What's going to happen tonight? I mean, I just might finish this book in one sitting. So, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Let me bring this home to you guys. This book is a portal. It's a thriller, yes, but it's also a meditation on choice, identity, and parallel lives. The question at the heart of it is simple. Are you happy with your life? But the way it plays out is dimensional, quantum, and spiritual. For me, dark matter bridges the gap. It's science fiction, but it's also scripture in disguise. It's a story about how every choice creates another version of you, and how love, covenant, and testimony are what anchor you to the right dimension. Think along the lines of Inception or The Shift. Look up those two movies, okay? If you're looking for a book that entertains and it expands your mind at the same time, this is the one for you guys. Now, why did I put bridge in my name? Okay. Bridge has kind of been the central theme of my life and my spiritual journey. I am an intercessor, and what an intercessor does is that they pray on the behalf of people. They kind of stand in the gap between their query and speaking to the divine. Okay. Um, it's a job I take very seriously. It's something that I can't get away from even if I wanted to. Uh, my life has always been about marriage, not just physical marriage, but how we marry the different aspects of us. Things that are seen as inherently yin and masculine, or I should say, I always get those two confused. Yin, yang. Oh, actually, yin feminine, yang masculine. Or is it the other way? Somebody has to help me out on that. But the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the left and the right, okay? Male, female, okay? And it's always been about balance, about being that bridge. This started off with me doing tarot. I have since moved from it. I don't really do tarot anymore. Very rarely will I pull out my cards now, if any time. And I was acting as a bridge then. And now, since I don't use the cards anymore, because I don't need them, I act as a bridge and fully embrace my intercessor abilities. All right. Numerology tells me six is my number, harmony, union, standing in the gap. And that's what I'm doing here, marrying science and spirit, Dante and scripture, physics and prophecy. So, whether you're the analytical type who loves the data or the spiritual type who loves the energy, you belong here because this is the meeting ground. This is the bridge. And I'm honored to stand in that gap with you. So, friends, as you go about your week, remember this: reality is layered, choices matter, testimony collapses possibility into truth. And whether you call it quantum physics, Dante's circles, or the third heaven, it's all God's language. And if you want to taste that language in story form, pick up Dark Matter. Let it pull you into the multiverse. Let it remind you that you are more than one version, more than one possibility, and that God's hand is in every dimension. Because I'm not a coach, I'm a speaker, a brilliant mind speaker. And my job is to flow like water, to speak what matters across every dimension. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me your time. Please follow for more. If you have any suggestions on any subject matter you would like me to cover, the comments is open. Go ahead and use it. That's what it's there for. Until next time, this has been 6 Quantum Bridge. I'll talk to you in the next one.